So move the sprinkler.
Now look at Mossy. Really? Oh, so that's how you're gonna play it. You gonna do this? Okay, fine. That's all I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that, and it became personal with me.
What's really good, my people? Welcome into No Catch Up Sports Talk via Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Little. Big Nick the Quick on the line, man. We going early today, Tuesday, jumping off at the 10 a.m. slot. Man, the NFL draft is finally here. It's this week. It's Thursday. I've heard quarterbacks go from number 2 to number 9 to the second round. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. I'm ready to hear the NFL draft. See where some of these guys go and see what type of impact they'll make. We're going to talk NFL draft. The big story is Kyle Shanahan and the Niners at pick 3. So we're going to talk about that. I want to know from you, Big Nick the Quick, is Kyle Shanahan disrespecting Jimmy Garoppolo here quite a bit? Is I understand he doesn't have any more guaranteed money left. It's paid. They're up to date. But are they getting a little out of hand on the disrespect? Because he did win a lot of ball games. So we're going to talk about that. NBA, Suns, Knicks, CP3, Devin Booker ended the 9-game win streak for the Knicks last night.
D-Rose.
I was just going to say, even though D-Rose tried to keep it afloat.
Vintage D-Rose.
even though they tried to keep it afloat, CP3 had the last word. We're going to talk about that. We'll do a little NBA roundup. And then I want to close the show. I want to talk a little bit about this memorabilia market. LeBron's rookie card just had a big sale. We'll talk about that number if you don't know about that. The Yeezys that were worn by Kanye West himself at the Grammys just went for a huge number. I have a list. Go ahead.
I thought you were going to talk about the slides that dropped yesterday, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. But
no, I have a pair of those. Yeah, I got them retail though.
Did you wait in line for hours?
Look,
yeah, that's what I saw yesterday. I drove by Villa and I saw maybe like 50 people waiting in line for the Yeezy slides, and I was like, nah, man, that's where I draw the line.
Well, this is the thing.
Like, if you can get them. I'm not waiting in line for some. Yeah,
I think I can't clown them anymore because a lot of the time people are just flipping them for bread.
Sure.
So it's hard to tell who's waiting in line to wear them. And
some of these folks weren't selling these sneakers, I can tell you that. But yeah, no, I didn't think about that. But yeah.
Yeah, so the memorabilia is going for crazy amounts of money. The Kanye West Grammy worn, I believe it was 2008. The Air Yeezy Nike joints just sold for almost $2 million. So we're talking about memorabilia, that market. First things first, Big Nick the Quick. What's going on? It's 8 degrees in Chicago today. Man. It's gonna be a nice one. What's happening?
A warm one out there. Yeah, I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling.
Yeah, weekend was good.
Yeah, it was decent, man. I just watched that fight on Saturday.
Yo, Usman, that boy different,
Usman,
man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, I'm still trying to get into all this, but I've fully come around. Like a year ago, I was still like heavy on I can't like the MMA because I'm a boxing guy. But you know, I really spent like the last year watching fights, and I watch all the big ones and all that, man. I'm all in, man. Watched it with the family. They enjoyed it. They enjoyed it. Mia was somehow able to even watch the leg break. You know, she wasn't fazed by that, which I was surprised.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was good, man. The weekend was straight. A lot of sports. White Sox swept the Rangers. You know, we looking good in second place right now. Shout out the Yerminator coming for that MVP. My man's hitting 4 something.
Yeah, he's nice.
Shout out Madrigal, two-strike Nick Madrigal out here making things happen. Yeah, the boys looking good.
You
man.
know,
rough start, boys looking good.
Yeah,
and TA.
Shout out the Sox. Shout out
shortstop
TA.
in the city.
No, black shortstop. Yeah, no, that's fault. That's negative.
Yes. What?
That's a whole nother conversation.
Film.
But to go back to the UFC on the First Take Tuesday, yeah, I agree, bro. It's there's a thing about putting out volume. They're putting out volume
a lot
at a but they're putting out a ton of volume at a very high level.
Yeah, it's high quality.
These high quality volume. So it's tough to compete with that. But in that same breath, Fury and Joshua are getting ready to fight, and they said that we need at least 150 million.
Yeah, of course.
They're gonna get it. It looks like so.
Yeah, which is crazy.
What you want about UFC versus boxing, whatever you want.
Usman ain't seeing that kind of bread anytime soon.
Usman will never see that bread.
We'll never see that bread.
You know
but
what
I will
I'm
say this, back to the quality of the product. A couple things you touched on. Like, yes, they put out a lot of volume, but it's quality. Like I love the co-main event, but really those last 4 fights are all like high quality fights, right? Like once you get into the pay-per-view part, the fights are all high quality. They go quick, right? There's no fluff like a boxing. Look, man, for the main event, between that last fight and the main event, depending on how the fighter feels, remember that time that Floyd just wouldn't come out for like an hour? Like you have shit like that happening.
Dog, do you remember when Pacquiao wasn't coming out till the Celtics game was over?
Yeah. You got exactly like you got shit like that happening. You know what I mean? Like, so I love that they get their fights over. It's 5 rounds max. You know what I'm saying? 3-4 minutes, whatever it might be. And it's kind of like an in and out experience. Even though it goes late to the night, like there's not a lot of fluff. And the theatrics aren't as much as there are in boxing, which some of that you love in boxing, obviously. Like the fight night, we talk about it all the time, man. Like it's the place to be. But sometimes you just want the fight to start. And it's like, yo, I'm seeing gloves getting taped, and that's going to take 45 minutes. Now he's got to talk to his trainer. Now he's got to punch some air. Okay, now we got to walk out for 20 minutes, and now you got to walk out with the crew. The crew, there's like 40 people. They got to disperse. Like, yeah. So like I love the presentation, the volume, the fact that it seems like every couple weeks you get good fights. You get some good fights that you don't got to pay for. If you got the ESPN Plus and shit like that. So yeah, definitely salute.
Like,
shout out.
Look, bro, I'm not coming out to the Celtics. I think it was Celtics Lakers. He's like, I'm not coming out to the game over, bro. Like, I don't. Yeah, so
it doesn't matter. If it goes to triple overtime, I'm gonna stay out here for that. So like, you don't get that. So yeah, production was crazy, but yeah, just good night, man.
Yeah, shout out Usman, the Nigerian Nightmare. That. You know how some of these nicknames don't make any sense? Yeah. Like Thug Rose.
Yeah, Thug Rose.
Okay. So you know how some of these nicknames are just out of pocket? Mm-hmm. Nigerian Nightmare is not one. That dude is an absolute beast.
Caught him with the vicious right, flushed him.
A nightmare for real. So shout out Usman the champ. Shout out Jorge Masvidal. He took the L very graciously. Mm-hmm. I rock with Buddy. Yeah, man. First Take Tuesday, UFC. Good weekend across the board there, man.
Absolutely.
Let's get straight into this NFL talk. NFL draft is Thursday. I have never been least excited for a draft, I think, in my entire life, just because of the situation that the Chicago Bears are in. I think I sent you that tweet that Field Yates had. Bears currently, as of yesterday, had the least amount of cap space in the entire league. Obviously, a bunch of things are going to change. People getting cut, things getting moved around. But just to hear that and think about our roster, and it's like, how can our roster look like that and we have no cap space?
How do we have less cap space than the Rams? The Rams got like 15 guys on max deals.
Listen to what I'm saying, right? Like, so that was interesting to see. Shout out Cody. What's up, baby? So yeah, I laughed at that. I'm like, we had no cap space and we have no players. How does that work?
And we've already released Kyle Fuller and still trying to trade
we released our All-Pro. We're about to move another Pro Bowler and we don't have any money. That's it's just incompetence at the highest level. Yep. But
pick a new team this year, folks.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a Dolphins guy, I think. No, you're Dolphins. Who did I pick?
No, I'm Buffalo and you're Dolphins, but the Dolphins have the rare, like the three-peat of the whatever Tua is, quarterback, black head coach, the non-existent.
Is that what you called it?
We'll call Tua a black quarterback. They got the black quarterback, the black head coach, and the black GM. So I don't know, man. It's hard for me to go against that. Non-existent. Yeah. Shout out Brian Flores. Shout out what's the guy? I think his name is Chris Jones or something like that. The GM. Like shout out Tua, man. I love it. Out there in South Beach in my yo.
Yeah, rare. Not even
rare.
The word.
Non-existent.
Ever.
The Holy Trinity.
So yeah, but the big news, Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers move up to pick 3. I think it's also funny that every kind of context I've heard about Shanahan and the Niners and going up to pick 3 was like he just did this shit all himself.
Yeah, exactly. Almost, like, don't they have a GM? Don't they?
Like, does Lynch did he talk to Lynch about this? Or like it always seems like they just speak in Kyle Shanahan in such a high regard, which he probably deserves.
Bill assassin.
Yeah, he probably deserves quite a bit of it. But yeah, I haven't heard John Lynch's name once about the trade or about what they're going to do. Like, they haven't asked John Lynch any questions.
Well,
Shanahan made the trade. Shanahan's going to make the pick. Like, that's it.
John Lynch been chilling since he fleeced the Bears over the Mitch Trubisky deal. So, I mean, he's good. His legacy is sealed.
Confirmed.
He's fine. Hey, I got y'all these picks for a quarterback we weren't going to take. So,
confirmed fleecing. No doubt about it.
So,
go ahead.
No, go ahead. I want to talk about this. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny you're bringing this up because I was actually, when I was driving to work yesterday, I was going to call you about this exact situation because if we both watch Get Up and all that stuff, and this is all they talk about for like the last 2 weeks is what the 49ers are going to do with this pick. So yeah, I'm kind of happy we're talking about this. I got a lot of thoughts.
Yeah, apparently Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers like 5 quarterbacks at the
Yes, they like all of them.
They're just like the way Kyle Shanahan's making this team is whoever's there, I'll take and make into a Super Bowl contender. Don't worry about it. That's why I moved up to 3, not 2. Don't worry about it. And then I got a couple clips. But yeah, what are your initial thoughts on what's going on? And who's your gut telling you that he moved up to go get?
So I think it's funny, man, because he's getting a lot of flack for like it being like, hey, because they moved up like 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, like they've been traded up for this pick, right?
Yeah.
And everybody assumed it was to draft Mac Jones, which, look, I forget who it was that brought up a great point yesterday. It's like, if you want to draft Mac Jones, why wouldn't you just trade up to like 7 or 8? Like Mac Jones is not going in the top 5 picks unless somebody's targeting him, right?
Right.
So everybody's like, hey, you guys clearly made this deal. Mac Jones was your guy. Awesome. Well, then last week they go to Trey Lance's pro day, right? They go to Justin Fields' pro day, and everybody's like, well, wait, if you were so set on Mac Jones, why are you going out to look at these other guys? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And all these dumb analogies like, hey, if I'm dating a girl, I don't go down another date with another girl. And all this stupid shit they do. And in my head, I'm like, what are y'all talking about? His job is to do his due diligence. So while he may have, and we don't know for sure, but while he may have jumped up to number 3, because they were targeting Mac Jones, does that mean that you don't look at anybody else at all? Like, you don't go to Trey Lance's pro day just to get a peek? You don't go to Justin Fields' pro day just to get a peek? Hell, you don't go to Trevor Lawrence's pro day or even Zach Wilson's, even though those guys are expected to be off the board, just to get a peek? That is called doing your due diligence. You might have loved Mac Jones, but guess what? You go to Lance or Fields' pro day and you say, hey, wait a minute. I love this guy more. And I'm in position to take them, so I will, because that's the guy that I want. And I think that might have been what happened. For all we know, maybe they still are on Mac Jones. But who knows? They might have saw Lance and Fields and said, holy shit, like if I can whisper to Nick, what was the guy's name? Nick fucking guy they had playing quarterback last year?
Oh, Nick Mullins?
Nick Mullins, CJ Beathard, all these guys that he had playing quarterback. Yeah. Man, maybe I can work with a Trey Lance or a Justin Fields who's going to give me a lot more from an athleticism and a raw talent standpoint than Mac Jones. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with them maybe not being 100% sold on Mac Jones yet and saying, hold on, let's evaluate these guys, because guess what? After Lawrence and Wilson, we can have any one of them. So why not make the most informed decision possible? I hate when organizations in any sport lock on a guy. It's like when the Bulls locked on Chandler Hutchinson. It's like, hey, if this guy's available at 16, we're taking him. You know who was taken 15 picks later? Jalen Brunson. You know what I mean? So when you lock on one guy, you don't look at other guys, and you end up missing somebody.
Yeah.
And that's not an anti-Mac Jones thing. I don't know how he went from what I saw at the end of the season was like a mid-second rounder to being the 3rd pick in the draft. But, that's for somebody else to talk about. But I just don't understand why Shanahan's getting flack for not being sure. And I'm even saying Shanahan, Lynch, whoever, getting flack for not being sure about who they want to take when they're doing their due diligence. That's your job. Look at all these guys and make an informed decision. I would have given them shit if they hadn't gone to the pro day. When I heard that the Bears weren't at Trey Lance pro day, I'm like, why not? What the fuck else are you doing on a Wednesday afternoon? Hop on the PJ, be back for time for dinner. Just at least go get a peek on a guy. You could have a trade scenario a year from now. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, you just got to get eyes on guys. You got to get them in the room. You got to talk to them. So I'm happy that they did that. I know that was kind of a rant on a team I don't root for, but like, I've been watching this coverage and it's making me go crazy.
Yeah, here's
it's like they're crucifying him for this shit.
No, and here's Kyle Shanahan, and I quote, "We knew that there were 3 at the time," Shanahan said. "That's why we thought going to number 3 was a good spot. After going through this whole process, I felt good about 5 guys at number 3. Yeah, we had a guy probably at first back then, but we knew that wasn't set in stone. This is exactly what you're talking about. And we knew the only way we could figure out a little bit more, especially when you can't work out with guys, you can't meet with these people. There's a lot of things you can't do this year. The only way we could go off that is if we got closer to where we could do a little more in-depth things than that we didn't have to hide. We did. In that time, I think every candidate has gotten stronger. And yeah, we probably started with one in mind, but this one has gotten better since we all have gotten other candidates. So like you said, he's doing his due diligence. Next thing you know, maybe I don't like this guy as much as I thought I did.
Yeah, or maybe this guy, like, wait, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, he brought up a great point. You can't do your regular stuff. So it's like, what, we're supposed to make a decision solely off film? Like, that's all I have is the film from the last couple of years? Or can I go down and get as close as I can to these guys and have for 5 minutes with them and just see where their head's at? Like, these guys are evaluators of talent. You know what I mean? They need to evaluate talent in person. So, like, I don't get it, man.
Let me ask you this. Do you think so? He's got a guy, pro-style guy. Like he used to have Matt Ryan in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Now he moves over to let me actually go back even further. He had RG3 first.
Yeah.
Right? In Washington. Really mobile, kind of more of an athlete type quarterback. And they ran a bunch.
And won a bunch of ball games.
We know all about what happened to RG3 and his knee and all that. And and the big Shanahan
killed him.
Yeah, he killed his career essentially.
RG3 should fine, buddy, and have a word
like
with
big
him.
big civil suit.
Up. Yeah, big civil suit. Like I need some of that. I need some of that Denver money, fam.
For real, right? So let me ask you this, because this is what I've been thinking about. He was with RG3, mobile guy, can do a lot with his feet. And they were expecting to be a better thrower, but didn't necessarily pan out that way, right? Then he goes to a guy like Matt Ryan. They end up going to the Super Bowl. They probably should have won the Super Bowl, won a lot of ball games. But he's a pro-style guy, doesn't move his feet in the
last
pocket.
of a dying breed.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's not mobile at all. Then he goes to the Niners. He ends up going and rocking with Garoppolo, who's essentially a little slightly more mobile Matt Ryan.
Slightly.
Right? Slightly, right?
Yeah.
Part of me feels like he's like, man, let me go get another little mobile guy. Like, let me go try to do something else. What do you think about that? Is it just smoke that he's trying to, maybe he's going to take Trey Lance at 3 or Justin Fields at 3, and he's going to go right back to his bread and butter or the last couple of guys that he's had success with a pro style guy like Mac Jones? Or or is your gut telling you he's going to try to go get a more multi-purpose guy like a Justin Fields?
So my thing is this, man. Like, if you think that Mac Jones is Matt Ryan, then by all means go ahead and draft him, right? Like, because if you are going to draft the statue, that is the best version of it, right? Like, that is the best version of it. We can talk as much shit as we want to about Matt Ryan. At the end of the day, you'll look at his career and say, hey, you're fine if Matt Ryan was your quarterback, allegedly, sort of, kind of. But you know what I'm saying, though, right? Like, yeah, you can work with that, right? So if you think that that's what you can do, for sure, man. But like, to me, I always opt for the guy who can move. We've seen in this NFL, man, like, you don't necessarily need a guy who's a burner. You don't necessarily need Mike Vick out there. But if a guy can create plays when things break down, or if a guy gives you, the ability to run a more athletic offense, and again, you are this quarterback whisperer that we've heard that you are, you can work on the pocket passing with these guys, right? But in the meantime, you have a guy who can still go out there and produce with his legs, right? Like, that's the Josh Allen philosophy. Hey, throw him on the field, right? He can make some plays while we teach him how to play quarterback, right? And we trust in our ability enough to move this guy along and develop him as a pro-style quarterback, that we can kind of live with his deficiencies in the meantime, because he has the ability to make up for those with his legs and athleticism and raw talent, right? He's going to make a few plays per game that just no one else can make. And I think I see that in Fields. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I've seen any Trey Lance tape, but it sounds like he has that kind of ability too. I don't think Mac Jones has that. Yeah, I don't think Mac Jones necessarily has that, right? Like, I think he could be good, but I don't think he's going to bring that wow factor. And I think if you move up to 3 and you look at either Fields or Lance, and you're like, man, these guys are studs, and then the athleticism adds a whole new wrinkle to our offense, then absolutely, man, go get yourself a guy who can move around, because that's where the league is going towards. Trevor Lawrence isn't a 1,000-yard rusher out there, but he can move his legs a little bit, right? He ran a lot more last year. You were talking about that. that's the way the NFL is going towards. So I'm all for it, man. I'm taking either Lance or Fields. I'm taking Fields. I don't know how we've even gotten to that point. I'm taking Fields if I'm the Jets, if we're really being honest. But I guess they've already made up their mind about the BYU kid, and that's fine. But like, I just don't see a world in which Justin Fields drops to or I don't understand a world where Justin Fields is the 5th quarterback taken in this draft. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, and I agree with that. I just the whole Trey Lance, Justin, and I mean, if we're keeping it 100, isn't Trey Lance a poor man's Justin Fields?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Like, if I'm looking at this correctly, I mean, you could listen. You start getting the spin on what someone could be potentially. You don't really know. You could, you might risk reward type of thing and take Trey Lance, but Justin Fields does everything Trey Lance does and has been doing it and did it against big time comp.
Yeah, and if you're trying to win, I mean, the way I see it is they're making a move that they believe helps them win now, right? Like, I don't think this is like a 3 or 4 year move. Like, they feel that they have a good enough roster. They just need a quarterback, right? Because if they didn't, you would be sticking with Jimmy Garoppolo, which we'll get to. But so for me, if Lance is a project, right? And again, I keep talking about Allen, but that took 3 years, right, for it to get to where we are now. So if you feel he has that superstar potential, understand there's a timeline. He didn't play last year. He played at lower competition. He's a lot of raw talent that you need to kind of mold, whereas Fields is a lot further along. Like you said, he played against big-time competition. He has 2 years of starting, right? He started out at Georgia, so he's been in the SEC. He's been in the Big Ten. He's built for this. Like, he's not going to be scared of the moment, right? The lights are only just going to get a tad bit brighter for him. Whereas for Lance, it's a whole different ball game. You're going over to the Bay Area from North Dakota State. Like, come on, man. Like, that's a whole another ball game, and he's going to require a lot more.
Hey, but if Shanahan going to Sean McVay you like Goff, then
but even Goff played at Cal.
But what? Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I mean, the not playing last year thing. Like, also, like, I just think a year off of football, like, as a quarterback, a year of not processing games.
Dog, how perfect did that play out? He doesn't even play that much the year prior. Then he sits out the whole year, and he's now the top 10 pick.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's crazy. Yeah. Crazy how that worked out.
Shout out to him, man, for sure.
That shit worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
So I want to play you a clip from Shanahan as well, and then we could get into the Garoppolo talk. Here is Kyle Shanahan getting the dreaded Jimmy Garoppolo question.
I can't guarantee that anybody in the world will be alive Sunday, so I can't guarantee who will be on our roster on Sunday. So that goes for all of us.
Wow.
Hold on. Let me preface that again. So the reporter asked, will Jimmy Garoppolo be on the roster come Sunday, post-draft? And this was Kyle Shanahan's response.
I can't guarantee that anybody in the world will be alive Sunday, so I can't guarantee who will be on our roster on Sunday. So that goes for all of us.
Wait, look. I'll let me tell you this, man.
It's the most roundabout way of saying no.
I mean, he pretty much is saying he doesn't know, but I'm going to tell you this. If Jimmy's on the roster or not, he will not be playing quarterback for those boys. If he does start the season, he won't be playing for them very long.
If I'm Jimmy and I saw that, I'm like, yeah.
I'm out.
Out.
I've been out.
Yeah, been out.
I've been out. I understand. I got paid. I got all my bread. I got all my guaranteed money is paid. So they can move on and do their thing. Are they disrespect? Like, this is my thing, right? If I'm Jimmy Garoppolo and I see my team give up equity to move up to, and then they draft Mac Jones, my G, I'm a 10x Mac Jones.
Exactly.
Like, what are we talking about?
So when I told you I wanted to call you yesterday, this is the exact reason. What I was going to ask is, so the only reason that they want to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo that I can understand, right? If you are going to take Mac Jones, who we're all agreeing, I don't think he's going to be like some world beater out there. It's because of injury, correct? Like, they are worried about Jimmy Garoppolo's ability to stay healthy. That's the only reason I can see as to why they would move on from him if he believes in his ability to make quarterbacks play that well, right? Like, he can win with Nick Mullins and Bethard and these guys,
He doesn't win with those guys, by the way, though. The only guys he's ever won with is
Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, with 13-3 in the 16 games that he started. With 5-0 when he first got there. Like, yeah, he has won a ton of games there. His record is phenomenal with Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah. So is it only health, right? Is there a reason for wanting to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo, the injury thing? Or are they not happy with him I haven't heard anybody come out and say they're not happy with him as a quarterback. And I don't understand why they wouldn't be. Like, I don't think he's great, but
he's solid.
He's fine.
This is the thing, bro. But that's what makes me think he's going to try to go get a mobile guy. That's what makes me think that he's going to try to go get Justin Fields.
He doesn't like the style of Garoppolo. If that's the case, you definitely don't take Mac Jones.
Well, that's what I mean. But that's
where I'm kind of. Why are they off? Why are they off Jimmy? I want to hear them tell me why they're off Jimmy. Like, yo, he can't stay healthy.
First off, I think he's expensive.
No, that deal was cheap. Wasn't that deal like a steal when they signed? Wasn't it like 4 years, $70 million?
He was the highest paid quarterback in the league when they gave him that extension.
No, I thought they got him
100%. What? He was the highest.
You know what?
He was the highest paid quarterback at the time. I think it only lasted like
5 years, $137 million. I thought that money was a lot less, but he's due for $24 million this year.
So look, I think Shanahan's. This is what Shanahan's thinking.
If they cut him, he only counts $2.8 million against he's cut.
Right.
Yeah, you're released.
That's what I'm saying. Right?
Man, you're released.
So like, I think maybe Kyle doesn't want to be petty, right, and say that at the presser. But I don't know if anyone's going to be here alive on Sunday.
He's just waiting for a trade offer for him.
He is going to try to move him, cut him, do whatever he has to do because he's not paying the 24. And apparently he doesn't respect his game enough to think that he's worth that type of money when he can go get a guy like Mac Jones and have him under that tier for a while. But then part of me also feels like he wants to go get a mobile guy. That's why this is so interesting.
Was anybody else? I just don't know who else in the top 10 was checking for Mac Jones like that. Like, I felt like they could have. You didn't have to get up to 3 to take Mac Jones. That's what makes me think that, like, yo, I don't think they were necessarily moving up just to take Mac Jones. They were moving up to take a quarterback. They knew the Jets weren't going to let go of that pick. They knew the Jaguars weren't going to let go of that pick. But at number 3, it was prime. So you don't jump up to 3 to take Mac Jones, a guy who had a second-round grade fucking a month ago. And nothing changed. I don't know what changed about Mac Jones. Like, he did exactly what you expected him to do this year. Exactly what you expected him to do.
What are your thoughts on guys getting slighted because of the talent around them is so pure?
No, I think that
trophy winners.
I have no problem with the opposite argument when you take a guy and he elevated weak talent. You know, if Zach Wilson elevated weaker talent at BYU or Trey Lance made guys better at North Dakota State, I'm fine with that. But I'm not big on knocking guys for the talent that they play with, because then you're just like, hey, well, there's a lot of guys you're just not going to take then. So you'll never take a quarterback from Alabama. I'm not taking a Clemson quarterback. I'm not anywhere where you have top 5 recruiting classes every week or every year. You're not taking those guys. So, I mean, if anything, it's like, yo, those guys can step up to the challenge. And if they can elevate better players, right, like we saw Trevor Lawrence do, and guys like that, then look, that's who I want.
Right.
You're going to be playing with studs when you get to the league anyways.
100%.
So if you're constantly underthrowing receivers because they're too fast, or you're overthrowing guys because of whatever reason, you can't get on the page with these same page as these studs, like, that's a red flag to me. But if you're able to play with these ultra talented guys, then I'm ready, because that's what you're going to see at the next league. You're not going to see less talent.
Right. I mean, then it's almost like if you're a quarterback, you shouldn't even go to these good schools. You should go to like Illinois.
Go to Northwestern. Light it up. Light it up at Northwestern, and then you should be drafting these guys all day because they made it happen. Like Mike Kafka should be the best quarterback in the league, or some of these guys. So
right. I feel it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. That's the one and only. And I'm a big NFL draft. I'm gonna watch the first 6 picks, and then I'm out.
Dog, you know what they should do?
I'm going.
Hey, they should just draft Kyle Pitts, put him next to Kittle, and say fuck it.
Yo,
because Kyle Pitts is the best prospect I've ever seen in my entire life.
And then keep Garoppolo, huh?
Keep Garoppolo. Like, go to these boys. Because Kyle Pitts is a fucking problem. I've been telling you since I watched the film. I took 30 seconds and said, I'm good. Turn it off. Hey, remember in the Bo Jackson 30 for 30, they said the scout saw him hit one ball and was like, I don't need to see anything else. I saw Kyle Pitts play for 30 seconds. I said, this is enough. I'm good. Hey,
different.
Book it. Different. It will work in the league. I don't care who you are. So, yeah, I think he's going to get to Miami, though. He's going to get to your boys. And they're giving Tua. I mean, hey, look, that guy's a problem. He's 6'6", like 250, and he ran like a 4.4. Yeah, that guy's an issue.
Issue. All right, let's move over to the NBA. You know the association.
Yeah, what a game.
Last night, best game on the board was Suns Knicks. Knicks had won 9 in a row. The Suns had lost 2 in a row. End of a 5-game road trip. Were they gonna pack it in, get back to Phoenix and kick it, or were they gonna, take care of business and then try to get home with a W, get some rest, because then they have the Clippers on Wednesday.
They got a hell of a fucking
they've had a hell of a stretch.
The best teams on the East in like that 5-game trip,
and then
you come back and play the Clippers.
And then after the Clippers is Utah.
Yeah.
So they have a hell of a stretch. But
which is the second time they've done this Utah Clippers back to back. Remember they did that like 2 weeks ago.
They went Jazz Clippers. Yeah.
Their schedule is crazy.
So I hit Nick on Friday and I said, look, the Knicks is all over the news. Everybody loves them. They've won 8 in a row. They play tomorrow for 9 in a row on Saturday. They haven't really been beating anybody. If you go look at their 8 or 9 win streak or 9-game win streak, there's a couple solid teams on there, but it was a lot of bullshit on there too. The Pellies are on there. Minnesota was on there, who have been playing better, by the way. But yeah, it wasn't like they were beating world beaters in the East, right?
That's probably the real gambling opportunity is Tibbs versus any team that's not good. Because they will not lay down on a bad team.
Right.
Like, he's not the type to go blow a game in Minnesota.
Well, you said what was their number against the spread?
Oh, it was fucking man,
it was some ridiculous
42 and 19 or some shit. Like it's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
42 and 21, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy number against the spread.
Pretty much ride the Knicks all year and you'd be fucking golden.
Yeah, you'd be flush.
You're super flush, yeah.
Flush. So I told Nick, I'm like, look, man, I'm telling you now, if the Knicks win Saturday for 9 in a row, and then they play the Suns Monday for 10 in a row, I'm taking the Suns for a healthy amount.
Mm-hmm.
And it's set up perfectly. Knicks win Saturday, Suns lose on Sunday, and then they have a back-to-back Monday to close out the show at Madison Square Garden. They end up getting the W last night. I'm not gonna flex, man. There's pictures of Devin Booker out the day before with Kendall Jenner. I'm like, they could easily be
in New York. Oh, he's kicking it.
Yeah, he's kicking it. Yeah. D Book out in New York with Kendall Jenner kicking it.
Let me get dinner real quick.
He could easily be very distracted.
And that's how they looked in the first quarter. The first quarter, they looked like they were. I texted you. I was like, "Yo, they already got their Ubers booked from Sky Harbor.
Yeah,
like these boys are ready to go home."
No doubt. They at one point were down 15.
Yeah,
in the start of the second quarter. But after that, they turned it on and kind of took care of business. They were down 7 at half.
Yep.
And then closed the gap in the third, and then never looked back. And then of course, we had the closer. CP3, but this is back-to-back games for Devin Booker going for 30 plus. That guy is an issue.
Yep.
I've been trying to tell Nick. Nick finally showing Devin Booker some respect.
I'm on the record with my issues with Devin Booker, but hey, he's winning. He's winning games, man. Happy with him. I've flipped because he's winning ball games. It's contributing to wins.
He didn't have any help. This is the same shit we talked about.
Drafted in the top 10. Listen, man.
Come on, B. We're not going.
They were winning 26 ball games.
It's all right. You were wrong.
At least give me 30 wins.
So the closer, Chris Paul, comes through, and this is how he shut him down. This was probably the easiest shot he hit last night.
Paul fires up a 3. It's good. Chris Paul from downtown, and that will do it. Big buckets here in the fourth quarter from the.
What's wrong?
Yo, what's wrong with these boys? He said to D-Book. He said they better stop playing around with me. That was probably the easiest shot he hit. He hit 3 jumpers in the last, 90 seconds to close out the game.
Yeah, 2 mid-range. The second one was absolutely ridiculous. He was off balance mid-range. The first one was the signature Chris Paul
fadeaway
elbow mid-range that literally for 20 years. The film is there. Go back to Wake Forest. He's been hitting that shot. It's automatic. You know who it reminds me of? Do you remember when Tony Parker developed that automatic like mid-range? It wasn't three. It was a couple steps inside from the 3-point line, but literally no one could guard it for like the last 5 years of his career. It's the same thing. Like that shot, like, look, I get it. Some guys want to step out, but if that shit is there all day and you're going to knock it down at probably like 60%, take that shot. It's like a layup for CP.
Yeah, what were your thoughts? What were your thoughts on the game, the Suns? Because just for the people know, he was trying to fade me. Nick liked the Knicks in that spot.
Yeah, and let's not sit up here and act like there was a no-doubter for 48 minutes. Like that had.
No, it wasn't.
And I still feel comfortable about not taking the Suns in that particular spot. With that being said, look, man, the Suns are a problem. I think they said during the broadcast that they had talked to Booker, who hasn't never been in the playoffs, and he's like, look, I'm not just trying to get to the playoffs. We really believe that we can win. And when you watch them play, like, this isn't a gimmick, right? Like, this is a team that I fully believe can make a run in the Western Conference, depending on the health of some of these other teams. We've seen Bron go down. I know AD's back. We know there's not going to be Jamal Murray. Like, I think the West is kind of up there for a team who can put together a good run. And when you got a guy like Chris Paul, I know he has had some playoff struggles before, but when you got a guy like Chris Paul, and we've been saying this all year, the confidence that he's given to them after he hits that shot, who does he go to? Book. Hey, man, what's what I've been fucking telling you? This is what I've been telling you. This is why I'm on you all day in practice. This is why instead of playing cards in the plane, you're going to come sit next to me and we're going to watch film. This is why we put in the grind. This is why I'm talking all game, like, because we're going out here on road trips and beating good teams. We're the second best record in the league. We're about to clinch a playoff spot with our next victory. Like, this is why we do this. We have to believe. We got to execute, and just trust me. Get me to the fourth quarter, and I'm going to bring y'all boys home, right? Get me to the Western Conference Finals. I'm going to bring y'all boys home. So I think that this is a team that, look, you don't want to see them for 7 games. You just don't. I think Monty Williams is a good coach. I think he's got them doing good things. I love Bridges. I love Booker. I love what he's got Aiden doing. He's got Aiden playing like a beast, which I thought when Aiden came out, he was going to be 2010 just off the jump if you watched him at Arizona. Yeah. Crowder will come back, who we know is battle-tested. You know, he was in the finals last year, so I really like that squad, and I do believe that Phoenix is a legitimate championship contender. I think that there's 4 out west, and they're one of them. And on the flip side, look, hey, Eastern Conference teams, don't come into Madison Square Garden in the playoffs and sleep, because those boys are ready. Like, Phoenix was a really, really, really good team, and they played them tough. But look, the Knicks are going to bring it to you every single game. If you've watched Tibbs with teams that he likes and guys that he can win with, they're just going to grind you out, and it's not going to be an easy 7 games. So I look at an inconsistent team like a Boston, one of those type squads, like, that they don't want to catch New York in a 7-game series, because Julius Randle, D Rose, and them boys, like, they actually believe. Reggie Bullock, I think he texted me last night. He looks like Ray Allen out there.
No,
like,
this guy's a sniper, dog. What is going on here, bro?
So, like, I think those are 2 really good teams. One of them's a contender. The other one can make a lot of noise. So I love it.
And another thing I want to talk about is AD injury has missed a ton of games. LeBron James, a little ankle that he's milking. There's no doubt about it. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. He knows what he has to do to get ready for the playoffs. He could be playing for sure. I'm not talking shit to LeBron about that. But
he's 36 years old. Yeah.
Yes, he's doing what he needs to do.
Give him a couple extra games.
We know what Kawhi does. Chris Paul has missed 1 ball game.
1 ball game.
Chris Paul has missed 1 ball game all year.
I'm sure they've offered him rest too, and he's like,
has started 60. Started 60, played in 60, missed 1 game. You were telling me when we were talking about this Suns Knicks spot that it was 5 games and 7 nights, I believe, for the Suns.
Yeah,
he's playing big minutes.
Yep.
They have been reluctant to go to the bench a bunch as well. He's been playing big minutes every night, and he shows up every night. None of that. None of the load management.
None of that veteran rest, which he's entitled to.
Yeah, and I think, like you're saying, I think he would like to take it, but he's trying to prove, he's letting these guys know, like, I'm with you.
I'm with you.
We're going to try to push this thing.
And I think he's one of those guys that values time. So he probably looks at missing a game, man. I miss a teaching moment. Like, the games are teaching moments for him. And if he wants, he's looking at this team like, yo, this is probably my last shot. Like, I'm getting up there in age. Like, eventually it's going to be gone. And it's like, yo, if this team is good and like I believe in these guys, man, I'm not missing shit. Because I never want to look back and be like, man, if I hadn't arrested that night in April, maybe I could have really gotten Book's ear or Aiden's ear and told him we need to be a beast come, playoff time. So I think he's fully locked in, man. Like, I think if you're Monty Williams, you love having a Chris Paul there.
Let me ask you this.
The coach, but yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. Is that smart? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, it might not be, but you're in it's hard to pop out the groove like that. And they've been in a groove all year long.
Or does he know to really have a shot, he needs that 1 or 2 seed too?
Yeah, and he needs exactly.
I think that's also part of it. So it's like
now they would be playing.
They're playing the
Portland.
Yeah, that's an easy.
Yeah, it's easy. Yeah,
they might score 160 a night on Portland.
Yeah, he'll give problems to Dame Lillard.
But maybe he closes out the regular season when he gets that slot locked. Maybe he takes a couple nights off.
Yeah, maybe, and I think that's the right thing to do, man. Let him rest. He's had some injuries. He's up there in age, but I think at the same time, man, like if he's played in 60 of 61, and that one he probably had to miss, he might just be saying, I'm going the distance, man. Like, This is it. This is my my grand finale or whatever. Yeah. Ain't that many games left, man. We might as well go all the way. And yeah, so there's no rest. I'll rest in the summer. Like, it's great. I got a palatial state out there in LA, man. I'll rest in the summer for now. For now, I'm chilling, man. So like, it's all good, man. I love it. I love what they're doing, man. I love what he did to that roster. And again, I keep telling y'all, like, MVP, this is, if we're talking about what the award actually means, this is a 30-win ball club last year. Don't talk to me about the bubble. This is a 30-win ball club last year, and he has them with the second best record in the NBA. He has them as the second best defense in the NBA, and he has them firing on all cylinders, man. So I'm happy. But again, give my respect to the Knicks.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we can't close this segment without talking about the Knicks a little bit. I'm gonna tell you this.
Don't want to see him.
D Rose tried to fry my money up single-handedly. Yeah. I was like, yo.
Dropping full court dimes.
Quickly throwing lobs.
Yo, Quickly is nice, bro.
Yo, Quickly nice, bro.
I tweeted this last night. How did 24 players go in front of Emmanuel Quickly? What are we looking at here?
Yeah, I don't know. But
because that dude's nice. A gamer.
Yeah, he's nice.
And he's not scared either. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but D Rose was hitting step back long deuces.
Dog.
He was hitting, dude, he was getting to the cup. He was getting to the cup and then laying off.
Yeah.
He was doing whatever he needed to do. So yeah,
talking
man.
Shit. Like, yeah, he was.
D Rose was frying people.
Man, and you love to see it. I love fully dreaded D Rose out here too, man. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, back to back 20 back to back games with 20 points off the bench. So yeah, D Rose been doing his thing.
And just like a quick Tibbs note, man. Like, look, man, like I love it. Like, he loves his guys, right? Taj was out the league. He said, no, that doesn't make sense. I'm gonna go get him. D Rose was in purgatory in Detroit. He said, that doesn't make sense. I'm going to go get him. Like, I want these guys to come and play for me. And he's plays Taj minutes. He didn't just bring Taj in to be Haslam. He's like, no, you're going to go out there and play because I trust you. I trust you. Look, Tibbs needs one guy to score the ball and 4 guys to try hard. That's it.
That's it. That's
one guy to score the ball and 4 guys to try hard. That's why he started Keith Bogan's 82 games. That tells you what his philosophy is. He was playing Taj and Ashik in the fourth quarter when he had Joakim and Carlos. That tells you what he looks at. One scorer.
That's also, too, another thing. Like, if whoever, like, just like last night, you know who closed the game? D Rose and another guy off the bench, right? Like, whoever's playing well to close the game or that night, he's going to play.
You're playing well. You're playing hard. You're diving for loose balls. Give him my one scorer. He was winning games with Nate Robb. Like, I'm trying to tell y'all, give me one guy who can put the ball in the basket, 4 rugged guys, and we can win some ball games.
The Knicks?
Most guys don't bring it every night. He knows that.
Do the Knicks have an analytics guy? How do you think that conversation goes with Tibbs?
They're like, Tibbs, Julius Randle's playing 42 minutes a night. Fuck out of here. I count a minute.
It's talking about like ER and shit. Like, man,
no. So yeah, shooting percentage, usage rate. He's like, it's like Julius Randle leads the league in usage.
Yeah,
listen to that shit.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna give it to him some more.
I'm gonna keep giving it to him. Julius Randle's averaging 7 assists a game. He's got to run in point forward center. Like, I don't know what it is. So
yeah, man. So the Knicks have been playing really well. Part of me is more excited for the East than the West.
Wide open,
but it's all going to be great.
The East is so open, And it's funny, man. It's open and nobody's talking about Milwaukee.
I think that's a blessing for them. That's a
fly under the radar.
That's a perfect segue. Yeah, we could talk some NBA roundup. Yeah, I think that's bro. They don't need that number one in the East pressure.
Yeah,
let Philly have that. We did that shit. We've done that shit 3 years.
Well, right now Brooklyn's got it.
Right. So but keep number 3, 2, cool. Fine. I'm good with it.
And they're matching up with Boston right now.
That should be no problem. Boston, Jekyll and Hyde.
Is sus.
That would be the series where every game was a 20-point game. Like Boston would win one by 20. Like game 1, Bucks by 20. Game 2, Boston by 20. Game 3, Bucks by 17, and then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's exactly how that series would go. So,
and I probably would not watch a game of that series.
No, just lied. You gonna watch?
I'll watch it, but it's not one where it's not like oh, let me lock into Boston and Milwaukee. I hate watching the Bucks. I'm not gonna lie.
Yo, Knicks Atlanta,
Dog.
Please.
But the Knicks are 3-0 against the Hawks this year.
The Hawks.
That's the type of team that's the type of team that Knicks might go up in there and smack around. Like Tibbs ain't going for that. He'll just wall Trey. He'll just give Trey the Jordan rules and then figure out the rest.
And I'm going to tell you this: Boston deserves to be in the play-in. How they've been playing all year. Put those boys in the play-in and make them make the playoffs. Like
seriously,
y'all don't even deserve to. Y'all don't even deserve to be the 6. Like that's how y'all been with all that talent over there.
All that talent on that roster. And don't tell me about injuries to Kemba. You have 2 27-point per game scorers in Brown and Tatum. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, put those dudes in the play-in, man.
Yeah, I don't want to hear
it. They should just give Jimmy the 6 for what he did last year. Just like, you.
Yeah, he should get a first round bye.
Yo, give the Heat a first round. No playing for the Heat. Yeah. That's the asterisk. Like, they can't.
I know the Bulls beat him last night, but I'm telling you, the Heat are just still tired from last year.
Yo, Jimmy's still tired for the finals.
He's like, man, this is some bullshit. And the rest of y'all, he's like, the only difference is the rest of y'all boys ain't show up with me this year. Like, what's going on? Yeah,
Jimmy's still tired for the finals.
And you still don't want to play them in a 7-game series.
You don't want to play guys like Jimmy Butler in a series, period.
There's no quit. There's zero quit.
Yeah.
Love Jimmy.
No, absolutely, bro. So anybody else you want to chat before we move over to this memorabilia talk?
Nah, man. I mean, I think
Philly's been so solid all year.
Yeah,
Brooklyn
Philly's just been solid. Brooklyn is somehow they're still keeping this thing together. I guess if you have one top 10 player playing every night or top 15, depending on where you put Kyrie, you always have a chance, and they've been able to convert. So shout out to them. LaMelo coming back. Watch out for Charlotte.
Utah is 6-4 in their last 10.
Yep.
Have looked a little shaky without D Mitchell too.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Everybody's just got to get healthy and get back. But
I guess he was real close with a dude who died off Kentucky.
Oh
yeah, like that was his guy. They went to high school together.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Mitchell's a couple of years, but they went to the same high school, so it was like a big brother, little brother type thing.
Right. That's terrible.
That was awful.
Yeah.
Seemed like a good kid too. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. All right. Well, we'll leave that there. We'll leave the hoops there. I do want to talk about this memorabilia for the last, 15 for the hour is up. The memorabilia is going crazy, and I get it. There's a lot of nostalgia, and people are looking for places to put money. I get that as well. What made me want to talk about this? Shout out my guy Nick DePaula. I should have had him on to talk about this, but this just happened yesterday. The 2008 Grammy worn Air Yeezys were bought for $1.8 million. Highest recorded price for a public pair of sneakers ever. 1.8 mil for the Kanye West Yeezys. There's a timeline of they were for sale at one point for 20,000.
Wow.
Then it went to 75,000, and then it went to 1.8. So
was no one buying at 20,000, or everybody was trying to buy at 20,000?
No one was buying, and then it just kind of someone picked them up, but then no one will. I don't know. I think the guy at 75 probably just held on to him.
Jesus.
And then now flipped them for 1.8.
It's a solid hold.
Yeah, but it's a super solid hold. Yeah.
20x.
Yeah. So my question for you, and then I started looking at some other different stuff because we also got LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Record-breaking sale for LeBron rookie card, piece of the game worn jersey signed, $5.2 million for a LeBron James rookie card. It's not even a mint 10, it's a mint 9.
Yeah.
So it's not even the top. I don't know how many of these are running around, but either way, LeBron $5.2 million for one of his rookie cards in Upper Deck. So I then saw a list floating around about the most expensive sneaker sale prices ever. The number one is Kanye West Air Yeezy, $1.8 million. Then we get down to the number two, Michael Jordan shattered backboard pairs, $615,000. A game-worn Jordan 1s for $560K. Now, let me stop right there. So we got two pair of Jordans. One is a game-worn Jordan 1 sold for $560K. And an Air Yeezy, you could call that game-worn because it's at the Grammys type of thing, for $1.8 million. It's crazy to think that sneakers made for hooping can sell 3.5, 4 times more on an artist. That's how you know how big of an impact culture and music and the rap game has
and
on
that's
the world.
And that's the shift in the shoe industry, right? They're saying this was the first year where none of the first round draft picks had sneaker deals, or maybe like one of them had a sneaker deal. And that you're seeing a lot of the companies like Adidas and Nike are shifting more towards the lifestyle side,
celebrities,
which is grabbing up artists. You got Travis Scott making Jordans, you got Drake making Jordans, you got Kanye. I mean, Kanye laid the blueprint on it. Really, shout out Hove laid the blueprint on it with the S dots back in the day.
Carter, Reebok.
But you're seeing it, it's like, yo, who do we really want to put the shoes on, or who do we really want to blast the logos all over outside of the top NBA players? It's like, nah, let's get it on the rappers.
Right.
Let's get it on the artists, the influencers. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I got the rest of the list up here. It's a lot of Jordan game ones, a lot of Jordan in-game. Jordan 1991 NBA Finals is at number 8 for $216,000. There's a Nike Air
What
Max
are those
for
Converse
$200K.
Olympics? Are those in college or something? Or
it must have been.
When did he ever put on a Converse?
Yeah, it must have been the Jordan Converse Olympic. Must have been when he was coming in.
And then a regular pair of Air Max for $200,000.
Air Mags.
The Air Mags. The Air Mags. The Back to the Future joints.
Yeah, exactly.
The self-lacing and all that shit.
Yeah. So my question for you is, what if you could buy? Say you were a billionaire, and you could buy one piece of memorabilia in any sport. Jackie Robinson's bat or Barry Bonds' 72nd.
Yeah.
What are you picking up? I know I'm springing this on you, but what was something you think would be worth that type of money, or something that you would love to have if you had a collection? There's some crazy stuff out there.
What would be two things, and they're both in the same game, and you were there. Just because I was there, I think it'd be cool to have the glove that Dwayne Wade's caught the perfect game ball in. Would be fucking sick.
That'd be crazy, yeah.
Or Burley's glove from that game, or Burley's jersey. I just think because it's easy to be like, yo, give me Mike. I'm looking at the Michael Jordan last shot in my house. It'd be easy to be like, yo, give me that jersey, right? But I think the significance of a game that I was actually at would be dope. So give me the glove that Dwayne Wise made that catch with. That would be sick. Or Burley's cleats from that. I don't really want somebody's shoes in the crib, but the jersey or the glove, something like that. Yeah, something like that I think would be super dope. Or dog, it'd be sick. Give me Tiger's pitching wedge that he hit that shot with when the ball rolled and stopped on the Nike. Or give me
you're talking about the Masters
or sandwich. 16. Yeah. Or give me that ball. Give me something like that. Like the club. Come on, dog. That's sick. Hanging that club up in the crib. Yes.
Dog, that's so funny you went to Tiger, because in my head, give me Tiger's first Masters when he was 18 under. Give me that red Nike shirt. That would be sick. That's
3X.
That big ass Nike shirt. Yeah. Give me the Tiger red from his first Masters that Sunday. That would be incredible. I wonder where that's at, actually. That'd be sick. But I'll take that. And that was the only one I came up with. But there's so many, man. Like I would love
Hank Aaron's home run bat would be sick.
Yeah, I always thought about if I had like a really big dope man cave, I would love some seats from Wrigley, like some old ass like foldable seats that they somehow took out or swapped. I would take like the old wood. Remember they used to be old and wooden?
Yeah, yeah.
I would take like a old set of some old ass Wrigley seats. Or I would take that Torco sign. Remember the Torco sign?
Yeah, yeah.
Put that in the basement. If I had like a huge wall,
You could take the big Stanley sign too.
yeah, man. So there's a lot of dope things, but yeah, some of these prices are insane. It's and obviously if you're buying them at 1.7 million, like the Kanye's, you think they're going to go up in value. You think you're getting a deal.
For sure. You think you're getting a deal. Like if he dies, I mean, like, and he's not. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, he's going to be the most successful, influential artist of all time. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Like if you really put it in perspective, you could really make a case for him being the most influential artist of all time.
Just on the culture and everything.
The culture side. I mean, he built $1 billion fashion brand. And told you he was going to build $1 billion fashion brand.
No one else has done that.
No one else has done that. I mean, no one else has had that kind of. He was. We can have a Kanye thing for another day, but like he was so influential as a musician that he pivoted to a different vertical and made more and became bigger in that than he even was in music. Right, like that Yeezy brand is going to last forever. Like, I mean, Adidas must be raking in so much money off that shit. It's crazy. So
stupid,
yeah, it's stupid. But yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think I mean the memorabilia has always been big. Even when we were kids, you know, like my pops had some signed footballs and baseballs and stuff like that. So I think it's cool to see it kind of coming back, especially like the trading card market. You know, when we were kids, that was a big deal. And I found a lot of my old cards, and I tried to look them up, see if they were worth anything. I had nothing was worth any money. I thought I had some bangers too. I had some Magic Johnson, some David Robinson joints. Yeah,
same shit, bro. I thought I had some heaters, and you want to know what's funny? My most expensive card I had was a Jordan Olympic.
Yeah,
that I literally fucked up, and I put it on the pin board and just like stuffed the pin through it, and it was worth like $180.
Right,
but I didn't know. I just was like, this is a cool card.
Looks cooler on the wall.
Yeah, exactly. So I put it on the wall. But yeah, man, this memorabilia stuff is crazy. But I would give me Tigers Sunday 1998 Masters shirt. That would be sick. Give me LeBron's Hummer, high school Hummer.
Shut up, yeah. Hey.
That would be sick. Give me LeBron's Hummer.
Give me D Rose's ACT. Yo, and nobody got this.
Oh my god, bro!
Derrick Rose hasn't even seen this shit.
Give me D Rose's ACT, nah, bro. You petty. That's hilarious.
His Scantron.
Oh man, give me D Rose's ACT. Man. What else, bro? There's got to be a couple more before we get out of here.
Shit. Oh man, give me
D Rose's ACT.
Give me Jalen Rose's draft suit.
Jalen Rose's draft suit would be
Give
tough.
me that Jalen Rose's draft suit right now.
Give me the
At least
Rose
the sport coat.
Yeah.
Give me dog. What else would I?
There's so
much good shit. If we were actually to sit down and think about it, like of some real just cool moments where it's like, yo, let me get a piece of that. Let me get some records from Disco Night White Sox, and they blew up all the records and shit. I'll take a couple of those.
Yeah. Let me get Pedro. Let me get Pedro Martinez's jersey when he threw Don. What's his name? Remember the old Yankees?
Don Mattingly?
Not
Don Cooper, Don Cooper, the pitching coach.
That's not Don Cooper.
Wasn't it? Don Cooper?
Look that up real quick.
The dude he threw down. I thought it was Don Cooper.
Nah, no way. But shout out Pedro.
No, Don Cooper's the White Sox coach.
Give me Pedro's jersey. You forgot how much I love Pedro Martinez. I was looking up some YouTube stuff the other day. I fucking loved Pedro Martinez, dog.
Give me Marquez's glove that he slept Pacquiao with.
Yeah, the left. Bang bang.
Like I watched that after the Usman fight, the Usman Masvidal fight gave me Pacquiao Marquez vibes just because I was like, yo, this dude's face is open. and he kept attacking his face like he's gonna catch him. I told Nikki like 2 minutes before I was like, he's gonna catch him.
His hands too low, bro.
Yeah, he's not guarding his face, and like I know Usman's a wrestler, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, he doesn't need to wrestle this guy because he's leaving his face right open. So when he caught him with that, I was like, it's over, which reminded me of Marquez because remember Pacquiao just kept dropping his gloves. I'm like, what is he doing? And walked right into that left.
I'll never
One
forget
of the hardest
that. I
lefts
have
I've
money
ever
on
seen in my
Marquez.
life,
I have money on Marquez that night.
Marquez slept him.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Slept him. So yeah, give me that glove. Give me some who were the dudes who did the Olympics? Tommy Smith and them boys. Let me get some of them gold medals. I'll take that. Give me the gold medal that Ali threw into the river. Need that. Need that. Someone go get that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. There's a lot of really, really funny jokes.
Give me a ball that Bobby Knight kicked into the stands. I'll take that.
The chair.
Yeah. Give me a John Chaney's. Give me John Chaney's towel.
Cody said,
not John Chaney. John was John Thompson's towel.
Yeah. Cody said, "Give me Mason Rudolph's helmet."
Yeah, big facts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me Rip Hamilton's face mask.
Ooh.
When he OD'd, like when the face mask was cold.
Well, like the Kobe black face mask would be hard too.
Give me Iverson's The Answer wristband.
Oh, game one. Yeah, need that.
Give me AI gear all day.
Yeah,
give me AI baggy shorts. Give me the rubber bands from his braids.
Yeah, that I'm
give me
telling
the shoes
you,
he stepped over Ty Lue in, man.
Yeah, give me the
that
shoes
shit,
he stepped over Ty Lue.
Yes.
I need those for sure.
I need that. I need to hold that. ASAP.
Oh man, there's so many good ones. But yeah, this memorabilia is going crazy. That's it for me and Big Nick the Quick, man. Make sure you lock in with us. Make sure you share, subscribe, tell all the homies, man. For Big Nick the Quick, I am your host, Sean Little. Make sure you subscribe everywhere, like I just said, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. You already know the deal. Have a good week. Holla at us.